Welcome back to the channel. Rarest coins. If you've been collecting coins for a while or even just casually collecting change, you might have heard that some pennies are worth far more than their face value. $4 million rarest coins. Today, we're diving into a specific penny from 1949, a coin that could be worth a lot more than you might think. That's right, we're talking about the 1949 Lincoln penny. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to spot one of these rare gems in your own collection or even in your change jar. So, if you're ready to learn how to turn an old penny into big money, stick around. Cut to a close-up shot of the 1949 penny with a zoom-in effect highlighting the year 1949. $4 million rarest coins. Before we get into the specifics of the 1949 Lincoln penny, let's take a quick walk down memory lane and talk about the Lincoln penny itself. The Lincoln Memorial Cent was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, this coin has been in circulation for over a century. Over the years, the design has changed a bit, most notably in 1959 when the reverse side of the coin was changed to feature the Lincoln Memorial instead of the original Wheatears design. Cut to a montage showing various Lincoln penny designs through the years, including the Wheatears reverse, the Lincoln Memorial reverse, and modern designs. But the 1949 Lincoln penny, with its familiar wheat-back design, is one of the most iconic coins in American history. And even though it might look like a regular old penny, there are certain versions from this year that can be worth a lot more than you might think. So what exactly makes the 1949 Lincoln penny stand out? Well, there are a few key factors that can determine whether your 1949 penny is worth just 1 cent or whether it could be worth a lot more. The value of any coin depends on a few important things: condition, rarity, and errors. Let's break those down. First up, we've got condition. When it comes to coin collecting, condition is everything. Coins are graded based on their wear and tear, and the better the condition, the more valuable the coin. For example, a penny that has been in circulation for decades and has a lot of scratches or discoloration won't be worth nearly as much as one that's been carefully preserved. The highest grade for a coin is called MS-70 or mint state, which means the coin is in perfect, uncirculated condition with no visible imperfections. Most 1949 pennies you find will be in grades like good, G, fine, F, or very fine, VF, but the higher the grade, the more your coin could be worth. Cut to a side-by-side comparison of a worn penny and a pristine penny, highlighting the differences in condition. Now, if you have a 1949 penny in mint state or one that is close to that condition, you're already looking at a coin that could be worth a lot more than face value. Some 1949 pennies in excellent condition have been sold for up to $10 to $15, but we're just getting started. Next up, let's talk about rarity. Not all 1949 pennies are created equal. The U.S. Mint produced 1949 pennies in very large quantities, but there are certain mints where some 1949 pennies were struck in smaller numbers, making them more valuable. In fact, one of the most important factors in determining the value of a 1949 penny is its mint mark. If you're not familiar with mint marks, these are small letters stamped on the coin to indicate where it was minted. For the 1949 penny, you'll see 3 possibilities. No mint mark, these were struck at the Philadelphia Mint. D, these were struck at the Denver Mint. S, these were struck at the San Francisco Mint. Cut to a close-up of the different mint marks on the 1949 penny. Rarest coins. The reason the mint mark matters is because some mints produced more pennies than others, which affects the overall rarity of the coin. Generally speaking, pennies minted at the San Francisco Mint, S, are the most valuable, because fewer were produced than in Philadelphia or Denver. So, if you have a 1949 S penny in good condition, you could be sitting on a coin worth anywhere from $2 to $5. But it doesn't stop there. Let's talk about errors now. This is where things get really interesting. Welcome back to the channel. Rarest coins. Today, we've got a fascinating topic that might just have you taking a second look at your coin collection or maybe even checking your pockets. We're talking about a 1989 Lincoln penny that could be worth a lot of money. Yes, You heard that right. That seemingly ordinary penny you have lying around might just be worth more than its face value. But how much more? Stick around, because in this video, we're diving deep into the world of rare pennies, what makes them valuable, and how to spot a 1989 penny that could make you a fortune. Cut to a close-up of a 1989 penny on a table, zooming in. Rarest coins. Before we jump into the specifics of the 1989 penny, let's take a quick moment to talk about Lincoln pennies in general. The Lincoln penny, first minted in 1909, is one of the most iconic coins in American history. It was originally designed by sculptor Victor David Brenner to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, and it's been in circulation ever since. Over the years, Lincoln pennies have seen several design changes, but the classic portrait of President Lincoln on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back became widely recognized in 1959. Cut to a quick history montage of different Lincoln penny designs, showing various years. So, what's so special about the 1989 penny? Well, this coin is technically a modern one, minted during a period when most of the Lincoln pennies were still made from copper-plated zinc. But not all 1989 pennies are worth more than a penny, so let's talk about the key factors that could make your 1989 penny worth big bucks. Cut to a 1989 penny, zooming in again with the sound effect highlighting the year 1989. Rarest coins. Now, let's get to the nitty-gritty of what makes the 1989 penny stand out from the rest. Well, here are a few things to look out for. First, condition. Pennies that are in pristine, uncirculated condition are always more valuable. If you find a 1989 penny that looks brand new, without any wear and tear, that's a great start. Coins are graded based on their condition, from A poor to a mint state. A coin in mint condition can be worth much more than one that's been used for decades. Cut to a side-by-side comparison of a well-worn penny versus a mint condition penny. But here's where things get interesting. At the errors. Just like with other coins, certain error pennies can be worth way more than regular ones. And it turns out, there were some notable errors on 1989 Lincoln pennies. One of the most well-known is the double die obverse error. Cut to an image of a 1989 double die obverse penny, showing the doubling effect on the lettering. Now, you might be wondering, what exactly is a double die obverse error? This happens during the minting process when the die used to stamp the design onto the penny is misaligned, resulting in doubled images. For the 1989 penny, this means you may notice doubled letters or numbers, especially around the word A Liberty or the year A 1989 itself. Cut to a zoom in of the 1989 penny with clear doubling around Liberty and 1989. These doubled images aren't just a simple flaw. They're highly sought after by collectors. If you're lucky enough to find one, you could be looking at a coin worth hundreds of dollars to sometimes even more depending on the grade. Besides the double die obverse, there are other errors to watch out for in 1989 pennies. One is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin isn't perfectly aligned in the press, resulting in a penny where the design is shifted to the side. An off-center penny can also increase in value, especially if it's more than 5% off-center. Cut to examples of off-center 1989 pennies. Rarest coins. Another error to look out for is the repunched mint mark. This occurs when the mint mark, whether it's an AD or an ACE, is stamped twice, creating a slight overlap. These can also be highly collectible and valuable. So, how can you spot rare 1989 penny? Here are a few tips. 1. Check the date closely for doubling. Look at the numbers in the year A 1989. Are they doubled? 2. Inspect the word A Liberty on the obverse. Is there any noticeable doubling? 3. Examine the mint mark. Is there a repunched mint mark or an odd pattern? 4. Condition is key. Make sure the penny is in great shape with minimal wee. The video opens with a soft intro music. The screen fades in from black to the host sitting at a desk with several 1982 Lincoln pennies laid out in front of them. A magnifying glass is visible next to the coins. Rarest coins. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for more coin collecting tips and tricks. Today, we're going to talk about a coin that's probably sitting in your change right now with the 1982 Lincoln penny. You might think, it's just another penny, right? Well, not exactly. The 1982 Lincoln penny is one of the most interesting coins in U.S. history, and some of them can be worth a lot of money. Some of these pennies are valued at hundreds, or even thousands, of dollars. So, if you have a 1982 penny, stick around, because this could be your lucky day. Cut to close-up of a 1982 Lincoln penny in the host's hand. Let's take a quick step back for those of you who are new to coin collecting. The Lincoln penny, introduced in 1909, is one of the most iconic coins in U.S. history. It was designed by Victor David Brenner to honor President Abraham Lincoln on the 100th anniversary of his birth. Over the years, the coin has undergone a few design changes. Most notably, in 1959, the reverse side switched from the wheat ears design to the Lincoln Memorial. Cut to a brief history of the different Lincoln penny designs. Wheat back to the Lincoln Memorial. Now, the 1982 penny is particularly interesting because it marks a major change in the composition of the penny. In that year, the U.S. Mint made a historic shift from copper to a copper-plated zinc composition for the penny. This change wasn't just a minor tweak, it had a huge impact on the coin's production and its value in the years to come. Rarest coins. So, what's the big deal with the 1982 penny? Well, in 1982, the U.S. Mint switched from 95% copper to a 97.5% zinc core, with just a thin copper plating. This change was driven by the rising cost of copper. As copper became more expensive, it became impractical to continue making the penny with such a high copper content. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Not all 1982 pennies are the same. Some are copper-based, and some are copper-plated zinc. This mix of materials makes the 1982 pennies a bit of a mystery and a goldmine for collectors. So because copper pennies from 1982 are rarer and more valuable than the zinc-plated ones, so, how can you tell them apart? Great question. There are a couple of simple ways to tell the difference between the copper-based 1982 pennies and the zinc-plated 1982 pennies. 1. Weight test. The copper-based pennies weigh around 3.11 grams, while the zinc-plated pennies weigh only 2.5 grams. If you have a 1982 penny and it weighs more than 2.5 grams, you likely have a copper-based penny. 2. Visual inspection. Sometimes, you can tell the difference by just looking at the coin. The copper-based pennies tend to have a more reddish-brown color, while the zinc pennies are much duller and have a lighter, more muted tone. But the best way to be sure is to weigh it. Now, while copper pennies from 1982 are more valuable, there's one more thing that could make your penny even more valuable: errors. Rarest coins. Error coins are where things really get exciting, and the 1982 Lincoln penny is known for a few rare errors that can make a huge difference in value. Here are the most valuable 1982 penny errors you should be on the lookout for. 1. Double die obverse. This is a very famous error, and it occurs when the coin's design is struck twice by the die, resulting in doubled images on the front of the coin. Look closely for double features on the word liberty or the motto "In God We Trust." A double die obverse 1982 penny could be worth anywhere from $50 to $200, or even more in top condition. 2. Off-center strikes. An off-center strike happens when the coin isn't properly aligned when it's struck by the minting press, causing part of the design to be cut off or not fully visible. These errors can make the penny worth significantly more, sometimes even $100 to $500 depending on how extreme the off-center strike is. 3. Mint mark, RPM. Another common error for the 1982 penny is the mint mark. This happens when the mint mark is struck more than once, causing it to appear misaligned or doubled. A mint mark 1982 penny can be worth between $20 to $100 depending on the clarity of the and the overall condition of the coin. 4. Die cracks and die breaks. Background music softly playing. The video opens with a shot of the host sitting at a desk, surrounded by coins, books, and magnifying glasses. They hold a 1973 Lincoln penny in their hand. Rarest coins. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, We're diving into a coin that might be sitting in your pocket change right now with the 1973D Lincoln penny. You might think it's just another ordinary penny, but what if I told you that some of these coins are worth a lot more than 1 cent? In fact, a 1973D penny could be worth anywhere from a few dollars to several $100 set, and I'm going to show you how to spot one of these rare, valuable pennies. Stick with me because by the end of this video, you'll be checking your own change to see if you have a hidden treasure. Cut to a close-up shot of a 1973D penny with the focus on the mint mark. Rarest coins. Before we get into the specifics of the 1973D penny, let's talk about the Lincoln penny in general. The Lincoln Memorial cent, which we know and love today, has been in circulation since 1959. It was designed by Victor David Brenner, and its design was chosen to honor President Abraham Lincoln. The design features Lincoln's portrait on the front, with the famous Lincoln Memorial on the reverse side. Cut to a quick montage showing various Lincoln penny designs over the years, including the wheatback design and the Lincoln Memorial reverse. Now, as many of you know, 1973 wasn't a special year for a major design change or a commemorative coin, but the 1973D penny did come out of the Denver Mint, and like all coins, its value depends on a few important factors: a condition, rarity, and errors. So, what exactly makes the 1973D Lincoln penny stand out from all the other pennies that were minted that year? There are a couple of key things to look out for. While the 1973D penny was minted in large quantities, it still has the potential to be valuable because of error coins and high-grade specimens. But before we jump into the details, let's take a look at why this particular penny is sought after by collectors. Cut to a shot of the 1973D penny being examined with a magnifying glass. Rarest coins first. Let's talk about the mint mark. If you look at your 1973 penny and see a small D under the word "A Liberty" on the front of the coin, that's the mint mark that indicates the coin was minted in Denver. The Denver Mint is one of the most prominent mints in the U.S., and the 1973D penny is one of the most commonly found pennies from this era. Now, let's dive into the condition of the 1973D penny. If you've been into coin collecting for a while, you already know that condition is one of the most important factors in determining a coin's value. Coins are graded based on their wear, clarity, and overall appearance. For example, a penny that's been in circulation for years and shows significant wear is going to be worth less than one that looks like it was just minted. The highest grade for a coin is MS-70, which means it's in perfect, uncirculated condition. In the case of the 1973D penny, you're looking for coins in mint state or high-grade condition. If your penny looks like it's been freshly minted with crisp details and no visible scratches or discoloration, then you're already ahead of the game. Cut to a comparison of a worn 1973D penny versus a pristine, uncirculated one. On the other hand, if the coin shows signs of heavy wear, like flat lettering or an unclear Lincoln Memorial, its value will be lower. But don't worry, even coins in lower grades can still hold some value, especially if they have rare mint errors. Rarest coins. Speaking of errors, this is where things get really exciting. Error coins are one of the main reasons why some 1973D pennies are worth a lot more than face value. There are a few key errors to look for that can make your 1973D penny more valuable. 1. Double die obverse. This happens when the die used to strike the coin is misaligned, causing the design to appear twice. This can create doubling in the date, the word liberty, or in God we trust. A double die obverse penny is one of the most sought-after errors among collectors, and it can significantly increase the value of the coin. 2. Off-center strikes. If the coin isn't properly centered when it's struck, you might end up with a misaligned design where part of the coin's image is cut off. This can make the penny much more valuable to collectors. 3. Repunched mint marks. This happens when the mint mark is struck more than once, causing a double or background music playing softly. The screen fades in from black to the host sitting at a desk with a magnifying glass. A 1976D Lincoln penny, and some coin books open in front of them. Rarest coins. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more amazing coin tips and insights. Today, we've got something truly exciting to talk about, the 1976 Lincoln penny. Now, you might be thinking, a 1976 penny? What's so special about that? Well, let me tell you, this coin is actually worth much more than its face value, and in some cases, it could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Stick around because we're going to dive into what makes this penny so valuable, how to identify a rare 1976 penny, and how you could potentially cash in on one. Cut to a close-up shot of a 1976 penny with the mint mark visible. Before we get into the specifics of the 1976 penny, let's quickly talk about the Lincoln penny itself. The Lincoln Memorial Cent was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. It's one of the most iconic coins in American history and has been in circulation for more than a century. Now, the design of the penny changed a bit in 1959, when the reverse side switched from the varieties design to the famous Lincoln Memorial. And while the penny itself has undergone some changes, the 1976 penny is especially interesting because it was minted during a year full of historical significance, the bicentennial of the United States. Cut to an image of the original Lincoln penny and the wheatback design, then transition to the Lincoln Memorial design. Rarest coins. 1976 was a special year for the U.S., as it marked the 200th anniversary of the American Revolution. In celebration of the bicentennial, the U.S. Mint issued several special coins, including the 1976 quarter, half-dollar, and dollar coins that featured a commemorative reverse design. However, the 1976 penny continued to carry the same Lincoln Memorial design that had been used since 1959. So why are we talking about the 1976 penny specifically? Well, here's the deal. While most 1976 pennies are worth only a few cents, certain ones could be worth a lot more due to some unique characteristics. But not all 1976 pennies are valuable, so let's break down the factors that could make one worth a small fortune. Let's start with the mint mark. If you look closely at your 1976 penny, you'll notice a small letter on the reverse side, just below the "In God We Trust" motto. That's the mint mark. For the 1976 penny, the mint mark will likely be a D, meaning it was minted at the Denver Mint. Now, the 1976 penny, like other pennies from this period, was minted in massive quantities. In fact, more than 4 billion 1976 pennies were produced. But here's the thing, not all of them are worth just 1 cent. Some of these coins have rare errors or unique characteristics that make them stand out to collectors, and that's where the money is. So, what exactly makes a 1976 penny worth more than face value? Well, there are a couple of key factors to look for. 1. Error coins. The 1976 penny is known for having some notable minting errors that collectors find very valuable. 2. Condition. As with any coin, the condition of the penny plays a huge role in its value. $1 million rarest coins. Let's take a deeper dive into those factors. Error coins are where things get really interesting. The 1976 penny is particularly famous for a double die obverse error, which means the die used to strike the penny was misaligned, resulting in doubled features on the obverse side of the coin. This can happen with the date or the wording around the Lincoln portrait. If you find a 1976 penny with doubled lettering or numbers, especially on the word Liberty or In God We Trust, you could have a valuable error coin on your hands. Cut to a close-up of a 1976 double die obverse penny, highlighting the doubling effect on the lettering. These error coins are very desirable to collectors, and depending on the condition of the coin, they can be worth anywhere from $50 to $200 and sometimes even more for coins with severe doubling. So, Make sure to check for any doubling on the date or lettering on your 1976th penny. Another error to look out for is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin isn't prop. Upbeat music plays. The video opens with a shot of the host sitting at a desk surrounded by various coins, books, and a magnifying glass. The camera zooms in as the host holds up a 1973 Lincoln penny in their hand. Rarest coins. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss out on more coin collecting tips and treasure hunts. Now, today we're talking about something that might just be hiding in your pocket change right now. A 1973 Lincoln penny. You might think it's just another ordinary penny, but some of these pennies are worth a lot more than you'd expect. That's right, some 1973 pennies could be worth anywhere from a few dollars to several $100s. So grab your magnifying glass, because we're about to dive into how to find and identify valuable 1973 Lincoln pennies that could make you some serious cash. Cut to a close-up of the 1973 penny as it is placed on the desk. Rarest coins. Before we jump into the specifics of the 1973 penny, let's take a quick look at the Lincoln penny itself. Introduced in 1909. The Lincoln penny was designed by Victor David Brenner to honor President Abraham Lincoln. The coin has undergone some changes over the years, but one thing has remained constant of the Lincoln penny's popularity with collectors and the general public alike. Cut to a montage of different Lincoln penny designs, from the original wheatback design to the Lincoln Memorial reverse. Rarest coins. The 1973 Lincoln penny is part of the Lincoln Memorial series, which was used from 1959 until 2008, when it was replaced with the Union Shield design. The 1973 penny specifically was minted at the Denver Mint, which is why you see the AD mint mark on the front, right next to the word Day Liberty. Cut to close-up of the 1973 penny, highlighting the AD mint mark. So, what makes the 1973 Lincoln penny so special? While the 1973 penny is not considered a rare coin by itself, there are a few key factors that can make certain 1973 pennies worth a lot more than face value. The main reasons are the coin's condition, mint errors, and the rarity of certain variations. Let's break down these factors. Cut to a shot of several 1973 pennies laid out next to each other. First, opaque condition. As with all coins, a penny in mint condition is worth far more than a worn-out one. If your 1973 penny is in great shape, it could easily be worth several dollars or maybe even more, depending on the specifics. Coins are graded on a scale from good, G4, to mint state, MS70, with higher grades generally meaning a higher value. If you've got a high-quality 1973 penny in uncirculated condition, it can fetch anywhere from $5 to $15 or more. Cut to a comparison shot of a worn penny versus an uncirculated 1973 penny. Rarest coins. Now let's talk about the real treasure, minting errors. While most 1973 pennies aren't worth more than their face value, certain errors can significantly increase their worth. If you find a 1973 penny with the minting error, it could potentially be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Here are the top errors to look for. 1. Double die obverse, DDO. This is one of the most desirable and valuable errors you can find on a penny. A double die obverse happens when the die used to strike the coin is misaligned, causing the design to be struck twice. The result, double lettering or doubling of parts of the design. Common places to find doubling include Liberty, In God We Trust, and the date itself. If you find a 1973 double die obverse penny, it could be worth anywhere from $50 to $500, depending on the severity of the doubling and the condition of the coin. 2. Off-center strikes. An off-center strike occurs when the coin isn't properly aligned with the die when it's struck. causing part of the design to be cut off. This can lead to some really interesting coins with a portion of the image missing or misaligned. An off-center 1973 penny could be worth $20 to $100 or more, depending on how off-center the strike is. 3. Repunched mint marks, RPM. The mint mark is the small letter on the coin that shows where it was produced. Sometimes, the mint mark is stamped multiple times, causing a repunched mint mark error. For the 1973 penny, look for the D mint mark that might appear more than once. A repunched mint mark can increase the value of your penny to anywhere from $20 to $50, and even higher for well-defined repunches. 4. Die cracks and die breaks. Sometimes, the dies used to strike coins develop cracks or breaks. If this happens, the coin might